So welcome to this episode of Aussie English, guys. I'm your host, Pete, and this is the number one place for anyone and everyone wanting to learn Australian English, as you might have guessed it. Today, we're going through my top 10 Aussie films, classic Aussie films to watch if you are learning Australian English. Let's start. Number 1, Mad Max. This came out in 1979. It is a gritty dystopian action film set in a lawless post-apocalyptic Australia. It follows a highway patrolman seeking justice after his family is attacked by a violent gang. Why is this good for English learners? It features loads of Australian slang, its fast-paced dialogue, and iconic Aussie accents from the late 70s are abundant throughout the film, obviously. And it's great for tuning your ear to raw regional speech. You're going to get lots of explosions as well. So, to be honest, it's probably not one of the most dialogue-heavy films you will ever come across, but you will get to see lots of Australia, and you will also get to see Mel Gibson in his breakout role in Australia, which is, it's funny, isn't it? He got famous here first.
Mad Max. You don't want to make Max mad. Because when Max gets mad, he gets even.
Number 2, Picnic at Hanging Rock. I grew up watching this as a kid. My parents loved this film. In fact, I think my dad had a crush on the actress Anne-Louise Lambert. So Picnic at Hanging Rock was released in 1975, and it is a haunting mystery about the unexplained disappearance of schoolgirls and their teacher during an outing to a remote rock formation in 1900. Why is it good for learners? It's full of rich, formal language, period-style English with poetic narration and slow, clear speech, and it's ideal for listening practice and cultural insight. Some of the famous actors in this film are Rachel Roberts, Jackie Weaver, and Anne-Louise Lambert. Go check it out. It is an absolute classic, and you can go to Hanging Rock, it's a real place, in regional Victoria if you are living down here in this part of Australia.
Miranda! Miranda, don't go up there! Come back!
Number 3, guys. Number 3, Gallipoli. Another classic, and another one with Mel Gibson in it. 1981 is when Gallipoli came out. This is a moving war drama that follows 2 young men from rural Western Australia who enlist to fight in World War I and are sent to the Gallipoli front. It's good for learners because it combines rural and urban Australian accents. It's got lots of historical vocabulary and cultural themes central to Australian identity in it as well. Gallipoli is a huge part of our culture in Australia. Pretty much every Australian who's born and raised here is going to know what Gallipoli was, what happened there, and how that period was kind of the beginning of the Anzacs, right? The Australian New Zealand Army Corps. So definitely check out Gallipoli. In fact, I think I noticed it up on YouTube for free, so you may be able to find that if it is still listed. It has Mel Gibson in it. It also has Mark Lee and Bill Hunter.
Unload. Nothing up the spout. We're going in with the bayonet. Steady, lads. Wait for it.
All right, number 4, The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. This one came out in 1994, and I think I probably watched this a dozen times as a kid. Again, it was a family favorite. We loved it. It is a very touching film. It's got comedy in it. It's also got a lot of serious tones in it as well. There's lots of Australian outback. It's just a beautiful movie. So definitely check out The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. It is a colourful road trip film about 3 drag performers travelling across the Australian outback in a bus named Priscilla. Why is it good for English learners? It exposes learners to a variety of Aussie slang, humour, and regional accents, and it's great for understanding Australian LGBTQ+ culture and wit. Famous actors like Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce, and Terence Stamp in this film, so you should recognise some faces.
Who's going to show me the sights?
Be my pleasure.
Oh. So how about it? Well, I suppose a fuck's now out of the question.
Number 5, Muriel's Wedding. Nah, Muriel, you're terrible. There's so many of these lines from these different films that if you watch them, you will learn and you'll start hearing Australians using them. So Muriel's Wedding was released in 1994. It is a heartwarming and quirky comedy about, you guessed it, Muriel, a socially awkward young woman who dreams of love and a glamorous wedding. It's great for English learners because it showcases suburban Australian life. You get everyday expressions and emotional, expressive speech, and it's great for vocabulary and tone. Famous actors like Toni Collette, Rachel Griffiths, and Bill Hunter can be seen in this film as well. So again, you should recognize some faces.
People invite us to parties and they know we'll just have a good time. We're mad. Party, party, party. That's our image. You know what I mean. We're mad. We don't want you hanging around us anymore.
Number 6, another Aussie classic that I love, Strictly Ballroom. Again, I probably watched this a dozen times as a kid as well. This one came out in 1992. It's a romantic drama about a rebellious ballroom dancer who challenges tradition by dancing his own steps with an unlikely partner. Why is it good for learners? It features clear dialogue, Aussie humour, themes of self-expression, and a good mix of formal and informal speech. And the other aspect that I really like about it is it combines different cultures. You get this kind of like Australian culture combining with, I think the female actress is meant to be from Spain and like lots of Spanish kind of culture and dancing in there and her family life and everything. So it's a really nice little window into that world, that sort of conflict between different groups in Australia at that time and how they saw each other. Famous actors in it are Paul Mercurio, Tara Morris, and Bill Hunter again.
I keep asking myself why. Did I do something wrong? Did I fail him as a mother?
All right, number 7, The Castle. This should have been number 1. What am I smoking? This is probably the quintessential classic Aussie film. It is probably the most famous Aussie film if you ask Australians, okay? It's a beloved Australian comedy about an ordinary family battling to save their home from government acquisition. There are so many different lines in this film that Australians use every day. Tell him he's dreaming. That's going straight to the pool room. There's a whole bunch. Daryl dug a hole. There's so many of these. So if you watch this film, you're going to learn a heap of these types of pop cultural references that you can whip out and use with other Australians and get that kind of like, oh, you've seen The Castle look from people. Why is it good for learners? It's packed with iconic Australian idioms, deadpan humour, and working class Melbourne speech. It's ideal for learning expressions still used today in Aussie English, and it has famous actors Michael Caton, Eric Bana, and Anne Tenney in it. And I think this was one of Eric Bana's first sort of serious movie roles as well.
Last night I had a visit from some hired thug.
Yeah, me too.
What do you mean, you too?
A man, he come to my house, and he say, stop with the court business. If no stop, he have friend who come and beat me. And I say, you have friend? I have friend. My friend come to your house, put bomb under your car and blow you into fucking sky.
Number 8, Breaker Morant. I had to study this one at school, and I actually really enjoyed it. This is from 1980 when it was released, but it was a historical movie, so it was set during the Second Boer War in, I think, South Africa, right? So it's a historical courtroom drama based on the true story of 3 Australian soldiers tried for war crimes during the Second Boer War. Why is it good for learners? It offers exposure to military, legal, and historical vocabulary, and it's excellent for understanding formal versus informal registers. And you also get to learn loads about Australian history and culture. It's a very big story in Australian culture. We know about Breaker Morant and what happened, you know, because it was a controversial thing that took place at the time. Famous actors like Edward Woodward, say that 10 times fast, Brian Brown, and Jack Thompson are in this film. It's a ripper. Go check it out.
We didn't carry military manuals around with us. We were out on the veldt, fighting the Boer, the way he fought us. I'll tell you what rule we applied, sir. We applied Rule 303. We caught them, and we shot them under Rule 303.
Number 9, Chopper. This was Eric Bana's breakout film. This is where he really made a mark, I think, and got noticed. Prior to that, Eric Bana, the actor, he was in some comedy shows. He was in The Castle as a minor role, and he wasn't really a big name by any stretch of the imagination. After this film, everyone knew who he was because of the physical transformation that he went through. He put on a lot of weight for the second half of the film, and also the way that he completely transforms himself into the character of Chopper. So Chopper is a gritty, darkly comedic crime biopic based on the life of infamous Australian criminal Mark Chopper Read. The film explores his violent rise to notoriety, his time in prison, and his unique perspective on fame, loyalty, and crime. And it is one of those movies where the more you watch it, the more you pull out of it, the more you get. You know, you watch it the first time and you're kind of like, oh, okay. And then you watch it the second time and it's sort of like, wait, is this what's actually happening? Or is this what the main character is imagining is happening? So it's a very good film. Why is this good for learners? It offers intense exposure to broad Australian accents, slang, and street-level language. It's great for advanced learners wanting to understand Australian humour, irony, and how language reflects class, culture, and bravado. But it's not for the faint-hearted. It has strong language and violence throughout the movie. And it has the famous actors Eric Bana, Simon Linden, and David Field in this movie.
I'll tell you what. You try getting from where you're sitting to the front door. Because I reckon I could shoot you from where you're sitting to the front door. Because that's about as long as you've got to produce some money for me right now. I'll give you 20 seconds to produce some cash, or I'll fucking shoot you. 1, 2,
I've got no
3,
cash, mate. 4.
All right, and number 10. Drum roll, please. Number 10 is Crocodile Dundee. It's Crocodile Dundee, guys. This came out in 1986. And it is similar to The Castle, a quintessential Aussie film that every Aussie is going to know, and is probably the film that most Americans would think, oh, that's Australian. I would imagine. Maybe that's older Americans now. The younger ones might have something else. So Crocodile Dundee is a fish out of water comedy where a rugged bushman from the Australian outback visits New York City for the first time. Why is it good for learners? It's perfect for hearing contrast between rural Australian English and American English. It features classic Aussie slang, cultural humour, and the whole point of the film is kind of contrasting the differences in language and culture between Americans and that rural, broader Australian English. And so it's just a brilliant film. You get to see lots of Australian outback, lots of animals, obviously crocodiles. You get to also experience the inner city of New York and what the fast-paced life is there, and the sort of comedic contrast between the two, with the female reporter who comes to the outback and is sort of a fish out of water, and then the outback guy, Crocodile Dundee, who goes to New York and is a fish out of water there. So the famous actors in this film are Paul Hogan, Linda Kozlowski, and Mark Bloom.
How do you like your goanna? Medium? Well done?
You don't really expect me to eat that.
Yeah, it's great. Here, try some of those yams. Try the grubs and the sugar ants. Just bite the end off. They're really sweet. Blackfellas love them.
What about you? Aren't you having any?
Me? Oh, well, you can live on it. But it tastes like shit.
So go check those films out, guys. Definitely start with that if you're looking for 10 classic Aussie films to use to learn Australian English or to just learn more about Australia. And if I've missed any that you think should have been on the list, put them in a comment below and maybe I'll have to make a second video. But anyway, I'm Pete. This is Aussie English. Thanks for joining me. YouTube reckons you're going to enjoy this video next, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!